Now, today we are talking to women who say they are the family breadwinners and are sick of living with Mr. Mooch. Now, my first guest, Sarah, says she is tired of supporting the man in her life, and she's not even married to him yet. Now, her fiancé only worked 4 weeks last year, and that's because it was a jail work release program. Now, she asked him every day to get a job. She's kicked him out 3 times. She wants her freeloading fiancé to understand it's not her job to take care of him. Take a look.
It's only $1.50 out of the ATM.
It's only $1.50 of my money. It's not $1.50 of your money. Dan and I have been dating for 2.5 years, and he's a mooch. I am currently supporting both of us. Hey.
Hey, how'd it go today?
I pay the rent, phone bill, groceries, car insurance on 2 cars that are both mine, car payments, credit card bills, cable DSL, you name it. I pay everything.
Oh, hi, my name's Dan the Mooch.
Dan and I got engaged last November, and I have told him that I will not set a date for the wedding until he's been employed for 90 days.
I don't have a job right now. It's definitely nice not to have to get up in the early morning when Sarah does for her job.
If Dan could hold a job for 3 months, I would be really surprised. Did you find a job?
Yeah.
So when do you start?
Just relax.
That's my whole point, though. You say you have a job, and then a few days later, there's some reason that you don't. Dan's lazy.
Within the last 7-8 months, I have been so lazy, and I haven't even wanted to get off the couch.
Dan doesn't want to work, and Dan's happy knowing that I'll work and I'll pay the bills, so he doesn't.
I am definitely accustomed to this lifestyle.
Dan has a pretty serious drinking problem that he refuses to acknowledge.
And I did a good job, so I figured that, you know, I deserve a beer.
Yeah, you totally deserve a beer.
Sarah definitely complains about my drinking.
Dan's been in rehab twice. He drinks in the morning, he drinks in the afternoon, he drinks at night. I have to wonder if that's not part of the reason why he's losing jobs and can't find them.
I do not think my job hunting's been hindered by my drinking at all. At all.
I just think Dan thinks it's my job to take care of him. He has what he needs and what he wants all the time.
I'll only pull out $20.
Asking me for $5 in the morning for donuts. McDonald's money, $5 to $10 a day on alcohol. It's $5 here, $10 there every single day. If I counted all the money I gave you, it would be way more than $5 or $10 a day. I currently have $10,000 of debt that is directly his fault. I've caught him taking money out of my purse on several occasions. I've noticed $20 missing, $10 missing, change. He takes whatever he can.
When I do ask Sarah for money, it does cause fights, and so I do think it's a lot easier to take it out of her purse and try to play Spider-Man, like she's not knowing anything about it.
Dan took my debit card and used it until I was $900 overdrawn. I keep my purse hidden, which I don't think I should have to do with somebody I'm engaged to. I love Dan. I love him more than I've ever loved anybody I've ever been with.
I need some money for gas.
There's gas in the truck already. Each day that I have to go to work and he doesn't.
Bye.
It becomes harder and harder for me to stay with him.
I don't know if I want to change.
I have kicked him out several times, and each time I've let him come back. I don't think I can do this for the rest of my life. Dr. Phil, how can I make it seem important to Dan to get a job and stop mooching? I feel like the mother. You're like a child.
What do you think about this lifestyle?
I think it's a lot easier than actually having a normal lifestyle, apparently. But it's both, you know, obviously embarrassing. But you know, since I've been doing it for so long, it's pretty much what I've been doing. It's a lot easier than actually going out and having a normal lifestyle.
So you're 29 years old.
Yes, sir.
And you say, and I quote, "I am the ultimate mooch."
And yeah, as you saw on that, yeah, I'm definitely the ultimate mooch.
And this is a skill set that you've developed. You say, I really don't know if I want to stop. I really think it's fortunate that I can do this and survive and have a roof over my head. Like, you know, I'm good at this.
I've definitely gotten really good at it. So this isn't the first time this has happened. So.
No, because you've had 2 previous girlfriends, and you totally mooched them as well, right?
Yeah.
So how long were each of those relationships?
4 years and 2 years.
So that's 6 years, and then you've been in this how long?
2.5 years.
2.5. So that's 8.5 years. You haven't hit a lick at a snake. That means you're like really lazy. That if a snake crawled up, you wouldn't even swat at it. For this is 8.5 years, you just kind of been sitting on the couch, not working.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I had no ambition for any part of my future at all. So.
Yeah. Okay, so you're the third.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I don't feel good about it. I don't feel very bright. I don't feel smart about it.
But you keep doing it.
I do. I do keep doing it. And then every day I wonder why I keep doing it.
Okay, now the 4 weeks you work were court ordered, right?
Yes, I was in a work release program. So
you were in a work release program.
That was the only way I could get out of jail that day, so I had to go to work.
So you said I would think jail would be really good work for you. I mean, seriously, because they can't get to you. You're just in a room with a bed, right? Isn't that like vacation?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, it depends on who your cellmate is, but you know.
Well, there's that. Okay, so you get out. You were in jail because you beat up your girlfriend's car?
Yeah, I beat up her car.
Did it like say something rude to you, or what do you mean you beat up your girlfriend's car?
We had an argument. So I was drunk, so I took it out on the car.
So you wailed on her car and wound up in jail over it.
Yeah.
Okay, now, did you know about that?
I did.
You knew why he was in there?
I did, yes.
Yeah, how's your car getting on?
Well, my car's okay for right now,
car's
but
okay right
I keep
now?
him at a pretty good distance.
Okay, but now you actually, you steal money from her purse, and you say it's just easier because she gets upset if I ask her for money.
Yeah.
So you just steal it instead.
Well, it's a few dollars here and there, and I guess I'm insulting her intelligence on that because I didn't think she'd notice. So.
Okay. But you say it's just a few dollars here or there, in that therefore it doesn't really amount to stealing? I mean, I'm just trying to get my vocabulary right.
No, I mean, it's definitely stealing, I understand that, but when I'm doing it, it doesn't mean much to me at all because I have such a habit of doing it. So.
Okay. And sometimes you'll steal money and buy her flowers and give her the flowers.
Yes.
Okay, and then you get the flowers and go, well, that's really sweet. And then you go look in your purse and go,
Oh, but I
damn.
know.
And you go look at the purse and say, oh, I just bought myself some flowers. And you take yourself on dates.
We do, yes.
You take your money and you go buy yourself dinner with Dan.
Yeah. Dan's mooching has really affected our relationship. Dan! I just really don't feel in the mood a whole lot of the time, and I'm mostly mad at him.
I would try to make up for mooching by being a romantic, buying Sarah flowers, but ultimately in the end, I was using her own money.
He even suggested I finance my own engagement ring. I feel like I'm paying for sex.
Well, today we're talking to women who say they live with somebody that's just not pulling their own weight, that they're having to support. Now, Sarah is engaged to Dan. She says that if she doesn't hide her purse, he'll steal her money. Now, she's tired of his mooching, his drinking, and all of his excuses.
Sarah and I have been together for 2.5 years, and I've been mooching off of her.
This is not new for him. Dan has pretty much been mooching off every girl he's ever been with. I think Dan thinks he's entitled to not having to work. This is just kind of his career, I think.
I'm interviewing.
Dan tells me stories every day as to why he can't go on job interviews. There's no gas in the car, he's not feeling well. He'll tell me he went to 5 or 6 places and none of them were hiring. Every day it's something new.
I'm definitely looking for work really, really hard right now. I'm really trying to put effort into it, and I don't think she believes that at all. I'm trying, all right?
You're not trying hard enough. That's the problem. I think he lies about getting jobs. I think he lies just so I'll be quiet and I'll get off his back.
You don't really have any intention of getting a job, do you? I mean, if you went in and did an interview and you got hired, that would be an accident, right? You would go, whoa. Are you kidding me? Did I say something wrong?
Well, obviously, if I had the intention of actually getting a job right now, I'd have one. So,
Sure. So when he's telling you, yeah, I'm looking for a job, I'm circling stuff in the paper and all of that, you really don't have the intention of getting a job.
No, I don't. When she sees me circling jobs, you know, and stuff in the paper, it makes her a little bit more happy, you know.
So what is your intention? I guess you're living it.
I guess I am living it right now. My intention is actually mooching, so that's the best thing I can possibly do right now just to survive. And by mooching, I have a roof over my head, and you know, a vehicle to drive and, you know, happy lifestyle for myself, obviously not for her.
What part of this is at all fuzzy to you?
All of it. Everything's fuzzy. The fact that I put up with this, actually, that's the first bit of honesty I've heard from him. It's good to know that that's his agenda. Now that I know that he's going to be honest and he's going to say, I don't want to work, I don't care, you can pay the bills, you can go to work, and I'm going to sit home. At least I know now that is truly your intention.
That's not my intention.
That's what you just said.
It's not necessarily my intention, you know. I mean, obviously I want to go out there. I've adapted to this lifestyle so much that I've actually gotten used to it. So it's just a lot easier not to actually work right now. And you know, if I like DrPhil, what you said, you know, if I'd accidentally fall into a job, I would be like, wow, you know. I mean, this is strange.
Now, you just said like you had this revelation look on your face, like that's the first bit of honesty I've heard from him. Okay, that's like somebody coming and hitting you in the face with a skillet every day at 10 o'clock, and then they say, you know what? I'm getting ready to hit you in the face with this skillet. You go, you're kidding.
You're right.
You're kidding. You've done this for 187 days in a row, and you're surprised on 188? Come on.
You're completely right. You're right.
I mean, you said like it was the first time he's actually said that honestly. I mean, don't actions speak louder than words?
They do speak louder than words.
What is it you love about him? I mean, he seems like a nice guy. He's a nice-looking guy. He's clean cut. He's you know, I mean, he's got a pleasant personality. What is it? Is that it?
He's not very good at actions. I love him very much, I do, but every day that we go on down this road, I have a harder and harder time answering that question about what I love about him, because there's so much right now that I don't love about our situation.
But you say he has this incredible heart.
He does.
He's a user. He is, you describe this, oh my gosh, he's this wonderful person, I've just found my soulmate, right? He's not a soulmate, he's an inmate. He was in prison for a year, and he got out. He got out, so he worked so he could get out.
You're right.
That's the only reason he's ever worked, so he could get out of jail.
Right.
And you were in jail for a year, right?
Yeah.
Because, why?
Because I violated my probation on beating up my ex-girlfriend's car.
You were too lazy to get off your dead ass and go see the probation officer. And so they hauled you down and said, okay, since you don't want to come in here once a month or once a week, we'll just keep you here for a year. Now, if putting somebody in jail for a year is not enough motivation to get them to go somewhere, was it once a week or once a month?
It was once a week, actually.
Okay, and how far was it from where you were to where you had to go?
It's 10 minutes.
Here's his job. Once a week, he's got to get in somebody else's car and use somebody else's gas to go see somebody that's 10 minutes away, and he'll spend a year in prison instead of do that once a week. It isn't like you were busy. Did you feel like a complete moron for going to jail for a year because you wouldn't go somewhere for 10 minutes away?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I had to think about that every single day. When
Along about the middle of the 7th month, weren't you going like, why did I do this to myself?
It was actually the 7th hour, but I still continued to do it, so.
Okay, but you sat there for all of that time. Now, that's big leverage, right? That's big leverage. If you don't do this, I'm gonna put you in jail for a year.
Yes.
Whatever. And now you're gonna change him, right?
No.
Okay. They're engaged.
Need money. My relationship with Dan has really put a strain on my relationship with my parents. My dad thinks he's a bum. My mom, she tells me I'm wasting my life.
This is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong.
My parents and I used to be close, and we're not anymore because of Dan.
Now, Sarah says she's sick of financially supporting her fiancé. She says the relationship is on its last leg if Dan can't get a job. Now, he's mooched off all his previous girlfriends, and still she says she's never loved anyone like she loves Dan. Now, her parents are concerned that he just might ruin her life.
How's your day? Did you find a job?
I'm upset that Dan mooches off Sarah. It's cowardly. I think that it would make Dan feel less a man, that he would need to take from Sarah and never contribute.
I told you if you can get some stuff that I like, I would pay you back for it. I do believe that he is lazy, that he has been able to exist looking for the way out versus looking for the way in. I have told Sarah all of her life that when she gets married, I want to know, is he A, capable and B, willing to take care of her emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. 5. And as I've got to know Dan, I can't answer yes to any of those.
I'm very disappointed that Dan has chosen to spend all this time not working. I'm disappointed that he's treated Sarah like he has, and she's continued to believe in him, to trust, and give him another chance. He's let her down. I've always understood that marriage is 100-100. I think everybody needs to be contributing. I don't agree that Sarah should have to pay for everything.
I'll give you money when I get a job, but
Dan, I don't have enough money to last until you get a job.
That's a ringing endorsement from your future in-laws. I mean, they're very concerned, right?
Yes.
And this seems more to me, I mean, wedding doesn't seem like the right word. This would seem like more of an adoption.
That's what it feels like.
But you know something that I've got to acknowledge this. As crazy as what you're doing seems, just in the short amount of time that I've been here spending with you, you gotta kind of like the guy. I mean, you are a nice guy. You kind of have a nice way about you. And I guess that's what kind of gets you, right?
I think I've been doing this for so long that I do it because it's what I did yesterday. It's not because it's what I want to do. And I know that I need to change and I need to stop because he'll keep doing it as long as I allow him to keep doing it.
But you know, he is kind of charming, right?
He is charming. He is very
Do you
charming.
think you're kind of charming? But you kind of work that, right? I
Well,
mean,
of course I do. Can I borrow 20 bucks? 20 bucks, you know, to be all right? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you ain't that charming. But I mean, you could really use those skills in sales or, you know, working with the public, customer service, or whatever. It's not that you're without ability and skill and utility, but the fact is you're an alcoholic, aren't you?
Yes, sir, I am.
You're an alcoholic. You've been to rehab 3 times.
3 times.
How long after you were out before you took a drink the first time?
Actually, I went a year the first time.
And the second time?
I went about a week.
And the third time?
3rd time, I got kicked out after 2 weeks.
Okay, so rehab's just not working for you.
Absolutely not.
Do you have any intention of stopping drinking?
I haven't been stopping, so I mean, maybe I don't.
Okay, if she kicks you to the curb, if she just says, that's it, I'm done, that's it, what are you going to do?
This has been going on for so long, my whole life. I'm emotionally, physically, you know, just exhausted from it. But
Just worn out.
Definitely worn out.
You're just worn out.
I'm just worn out.
So what would you do? I mean, would you just like be homeless, or would you go find somebody else? Would you go find the next Sarah?
I'd probably go find another Sarah.
Yeah. So she's just kind of fungible. I mean, you used the other 2 up, right, until they finally just said, you know, they just hollered calf rope, so that's it. I can't handle this anymore. And so do you get that you're next? I mean,
I must be out of my mind. I must be completely crazy. To hear him say that?
Yeah. Why are you being honest about it? I mean, it's not like you shouldn't know, but...
Because she deserves it. She deserves to hear it, so.
Yeah, but you know, what you do sometimes is you'll say you're sorry and you get upset about it, and you really have a fit of consciousness, right?
Yeah.
But then you get a little sleep and it passes. And then the next day, you're right back to the same thing. I mean, that's your pattern, right?
That has been my pattern, yes.
So what are you going to do about it?
I just can't do this anymore. This is just insanity that I'm even doing this.
Okay, I'm talking with Dan and Sarah. Now, they've been together for 2.5 years. Dan has not worked during that time. He says he is the ultimate moocher, that it's a lifestyle he's developed that's working for him. He's also said he's an alcoholic. He takes money from her, he lies to her, he manipulates her, and spends his days drinking. Do you think you ought to be paying him for that?
No, I should not be paying him to
You're
drink.
paying him for that?
Yep.
Now, let's get real, just you and me here. This should be no great revelation to you. I mean, you're hearing this stuff today like, oh my God, he's using me. Shock. I'm the 3rd in a row. Shock. He has no intention of changing because it's all he knows. Shock. Come on. What is going on with you? What is going on with you?
I wish I knew.
Would you like me to tell you
Please
what I
tell
think
me.
is going on with
Please.
you?
Yes.
I think you are lazy. I think you aren't living up to the potential you have. I think you have the ability to be a contributing member of society. And I think if you don't have a job, your job is finding a job. If you had a job, just think about it. If you had a job, you would spend about 10 hours a day on your job, because you'd spend like an hour getting ready and getting there, and then you'd spend like 8 or 9 hours working your job and then getting home. It'd be like 9, 10 hours a day. That's what you work, right?
Yep.
That's what you work. If you don't have a job, you ought to at least work as hard as you would work if you had a job, and you have no intention of doing that. You don't know how to get from where you are to where you need to be, right? So it's kind of like the lifestyle's got you. Even if he wanted to change, the lifestyle has sucked him in. He's just spent so much time, he's got all this momentum in the wrong direction. So this is a huge deal to change this. You're part of this. I think you have gotten just as lazy as he is. You're in a relationship that requires nothing of you. There's no challenge. There's no fear of rejection. There's no demand. You don't have to be sharp, cute, clever, interesting, engaging. You don't have to do anything. It's like a pair of old shoes that you wouldn't really wear anywhere, but they're awfully comfortable at home, right?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, that's kind of what so you've kind of eased into this comfort zone relationship that gives you nothing back, but it also requires nothing. And that's kind of easy to rock into, right? You never have to perform. You know, you got to pay all the bills, but you don't have to really get involved and get engaged. That's wrong.
I'd never really thought about it like that.
What do you think about it now that you hear it?
Makes sense.
What are you going to do about it?
I'm not really sure I can do anything about his behavior, but I need to change the way I think so that I stop thinking that this is normal for me to keep doing.
There are a lot of changes you need to make, beginning with the locks on your house. He needs to get gone. He needs to get. Are you going to marry this guy?
Not like this.
Are you going to marry him?
I don't know. Unless he completely changes, then no. I can't marry the man that he is right now. And it sounds horrible because I accepted the ring and we got engaged, but I cannot marry this person that he is.
You remember the day you slid that ring on?
Yeah.
It slides the other way. That ring will slide off just like it slid on. Why have you not slid that ring off? Is this a fiction that you like to tell your friends that you're engaged or something?
No, I don't know.
Does it not feel like a fraud sitting there wearing this ring?
It does. It does.
Why don't you give it back to him? Why don't you give it back to him and say, you know what? When you want me to wear this ring, then by golly, you earn it. You earned me wearing this ring. You don't deserve me. You don't deserve to be engaged to me. You don't deserve to sleep with me. You don't deserve to live with me. You don't deserve to call me your fiance, and you sure don't deserve to call me your wife. Now, I know that's awful harsh, but you know it's true. You know it's true. And you've got to decide you've got enough pride, enough personal value, enough dignity that you're not willing to settle for that. Have you looked in the mirror lately? You are a absolutely beautiful woman. You are bright, you're energetic, you have a good personality, you've got a great work ethic, you're a good citizen. You don't have to settle for what you're settling for. And you don't have to settle for living the way you're living. Oh, this is not a long enough show. Today, we're talking to women who think their men are moochers. Now, my next guest, Trisha, says she makes 3 times more than her husband. She also does all the housework, takes care of their daughter, and manages the finances after working 14 to 16 hours a day.
Glenn and I have been married for 10 years. I think my husband is a mooch.
I am not a mooch, absolutely not.
Since my husband took a different job, the income has changed in our family, it's causing tension and trouble at home. He made almost $40,000 a year. Glenn now makes about $10 an hour. My income is now 3 times my husband's.
It's tough to find a job in Wichita. The only jobs in Wichita are building planes, food, and retail.
I don't think my husband looks hard enough for a job. Did that guy call you back about that job?
I would absolutely never consider ever working in fast food unless I owned it.
Glenn is lazy. It makes me very angry. Glenn, it's so late. I wish you could have had this done before I got home.
I just got home from work too, and I'm just as tired as you are.
The situation does cause resentment, and it causes me to be bitter.
My wife is being selfish. If my wife was so worried about the money that I'm making, she needs to give up the extravagant things that we buy. She just blew $6,000 on a bedroom suit that looks like a freaking museum. How much did you really spend on the bedroom suit?
I don't want to talk about it.
Do you think it's necessary that we need all these poofy pillows?
I worked hard to earn that money, and I'll do whatever I want with that money.
We don't have any money in the bank, man. We need to take her money and start saving. The spending should stop.
I'm the breadwinner, but I also do all of the housework, banking, laundry, ironing, cooking, bathrooms. I take care of my daughter. Okay, grab your backpack. It's all mine.
I'll go for a week and just do everything, and then I kind of slack off. I know I should help out more, but most of the time I don't.
I'm very, very busy. I often come home from work to dirty dishes in the sink, clothes that are dirty. My husband lacks responsibility, and I think he's lazy. This is something that I cry over. I'd feel I'm taken for granted. I don't like the way it makes me feel.
Well, all I can say is I can try and do it better next time.
DrPhil, I don't mind being the breadwinner, but I think my husband is a mooch. Please help me not be so bitter about this and cope with it.
Okay. Now, you think your husband is a mooch, is what you said. Now,
Yes.
having just met Dan,
I have a great guy.
I mean, it kind of resets the bar, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay, and that's your whole point, right? Is that you're not that way. You do work, you have had a career throughout, and you've always been a contributor in this marriage.
Yes.
But right now you're making less money,
Exactly.
and things cycle up and down. What's your position on this?
Part of that's right. I mean, he has always had a job and he's always contributed, but it's been a roller coaster. It's more money, less money, more money, less money, but nothing in our life changes. We still drive our fancy cars and go on vacation and go out to eat. Nothing else changes when his income goes down.
Okay, but this isn't just about the money, is it?
It's not just about the
Because
money.
you make X, you make Y, together that's not a bad income.
Right.
Just even though yours is down right now. It's also about the attitude, it's about the contribution at home, it's about a lot of the partnership that this relationship is supposed to be.
Exactly.
I feel like I bring home the bacon and then I have to fry it up in the pan.
Hasn't ever bothered me that my wife makes more money. What my wife needs to know is that I'm not going to stand for a dead-end job. I'm going to find a niche, but she does need to cut me some slack on it.
We're talking to Trisha, who says that her husband needs to step it up. She's made more money than him most of their 10 years of marriage, and she feels her husband takes advantage of the situation and won't even help her do the dishes. Now, we're talking about where the rubber meets the road here. She worries about the example her husband is setting for their 7-year-old daughter and what he's contributing aside from money, right?
Right.
Okay, now, I pled your case pretty well at the top, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. Now you need to hear what I'm saying about this partnership here. And now you tell me if I'm describing this accurately or not. People have a lot of different currency. You know, sometimes people, they only have like one form of currency that's monetary. You know, how much money you bringing in. Other people like recognition, achievement. I mean, there's all different kinds of currency. It's not just about monetary with you, correct?
Correct.
Women are that way a lot about, you know what women tell me one of the most romantic things a man can do? It's not flowers and candy, it's doing the dishes, helping the kids get ready, because it lightens their load and it is a gift of energy to them. And they find that very romantic. True or false?
Very true.
Now, what she's saying is, okay, you may be cycling down right now where you're making half what you were making before, and she's saying she wants to see more urgency in trying to get that back up to take financial pressure off. but she's saying you're just sitting around home and you're not helping with the dishes, you're not helping with the daughter, you're not helping around the house, you're not doing some of those things. She's working 14 to 16 hours a day, providing 3/4 of the income, and you're not even helping.
9 months out of the year. She doesn't work 12 months. So let's just keep,
Okay, then let's talk about the 9 months.
Okay, yeah, certainly.
Okay, let's talk about the 9 months. What's your point?
It doesn't change, so I have no point.
So I'm saying, really, you could help the situation a lot if you would just work. See, relationships are negotiations. Just work out a division of labor. If you felt like, okay, right now he's not working as much, he's not making as much, but in acknowledgement of the fact that you are, and therefore you're tired and you have a lot going on, that he wants to lift your load some and be more involved at home, what would that mean to you?
That would mean the world to me.
And you wouldn't feel so badly about it, would you?
No.
And that's something that you can give, you can do. And look, I know about the kind of work you do. You were writing manuals, you're very organized, you're very process-oriented, you're very thought-oriented. That's why when I said, what's your point, you honestly said, I got no point. There's no page 14 here. I just ran out of stuff to say in this manual. So, I mean, go at it as a project. I mean, decide, okay, I'm gonna set up a procedures manual for around here. We're gonna get this under control, so I do it efficiently, it lightens her load, and then we don't have this tension between us. I mean, that's what y'all need to do. That's different than the situation we have here. Do you see the difference, Sarah?
Clearly, yes.
I mean, what would it mean to you if all of a sudden he was making $10 an hour and had a job and was doing all of those things that Glenn is doing?
I would think I had a new fiance.
Yeah, you'd go, woo! So, I mean, it's all relative. So what I'm saying is recognize her currency. She needs that both emotionally and energy-wise, and that's something that you can give, right?
Yes, sir.
And instead, you kind of get defensive about it and say, well, if I'm not making enough money, then you just need to not be buying a new bedroom set. And you're saying, well, I'm making the money, I can buy it if I want to.
Okay, hey, hold on a second. In our 10 years of marriage, that last down year that I did have, that's really the only year that we really had any issues, really. I mean, with the money. I know what you're talking about on the other type of currency. But in that situation, considering all that, there shouldn't be any upgrading to a 12-year-old home, and there shouldn't be all the extra money that was spent. You know what I'm saying? I mean, or am I wrong?
No, that's something for y'all to negotiate, because you are in a partnership, and I agree that y'all can debate that all you want, and then come up with something that both of you can be excited and at peace about. But in the meantime, she needs that other currency. I'm just telling you, if you want things to go well, you want them to decompress, she needs that other currency, and you can give her that. And that's a good thing to do when you can do it.
Yes, it is.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir, it does.
Does that make sense to you? Would that help the situation?
That would make it much better.
We've been talking today about the give and take in relationships. Sometimes one partner can get so out of balance as to just become a moocher, just completely live off of and exploit the other one. You're engaged to be married to a person that describes himself as the ultimate mooch, says that he is using you, that you're the third in a row, and that when you stop giving, he's going to go milk another cow. And you're engaged to him. Do you think that that's helping him?
In hindsight, I can see how I must have thought that, but clearly it's not.
Enable is not a big enough word to describe what you're doing with him. That's not a gift to him. You're buying alcohol for an alcoholic. You're providing support for a moocher. The only thing you could do more to sabotage him would be to trip him when he gets out of bed in the morning. Why are you engaged to this person?
I love him.
You love him.
I do love him.
Is it his sleight of hand as he steals money from your purse? Is it the way he sits on the couch while he's drinking. What is it that's got you all starry-eyed about him?
You know what I think it is that I think I have a very, very incorrect perception of what love is and what a normal relationship is supposed to be. And so that is why I tolerate this, and that is why I love something about somebody that is clearly so wrong.
Well, you know, that's why I said that you're as lazy as he is, because you've gotten comfortable in a relationship that requires nothing of you. You have no partner that's looking you in an eye-to-eye level where you've got to stimulate and be stimulated, you know, trigger and respond and give and take. Well, there's no pressure here. It's just like you have a child.
Right, it's very much like I have a child, and that's how I feel most of the time.
Okay, but you're gonna keep the ring on and continue this engagement.
I'm not really sure.
That's it for today. Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.